Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another FIFA 22 video where today we have got a great tutorial on how to become a better passer of the ball, how to have better pass accuracy in the game, how to have more possession, and how to stop giving the ball away so much, which may be leading to you giving up counterattacks, which then may be leading to you giving up goals. So today we're going to be addressing a lot of those issues that you may have and hopefully fixing some of those problems and turning them into good solutions, which is going to obviously lead to you having a better experience when you're playing your games. So when it comes to passing, there's a lot of keys to having, for example, high passing accuracy. Now, one thing, as we're going to list in these and then we're going to break them down as the video goes on. So avoiding sprinting too much in midfield situations. Now, this doesn't mean that sprinting in midfield is something you should never do, but it is something you definitely should do less. Making sure you play to the strengths of your formation, playstyle, and tactics, and making sure that in key situations you're using the lofted ground pass, which is the double A pass. So now starting with the first one, when it comes to sprinting too much in midfield. Now this is a prime example. You can see we've got Ruud Gullit on the ball. Now you can see the area that we have squared. That is the sort of area that most people now would, we've got space in front of us. Most people would now hold that sprint button down and run into that space. Now you can see he's got his two defensive midfielders in a good position. So we'd be sprinting right into that position, especially if he's good at using, for example, the second man press. He can press with one player and he can cover the passing lane with another. So what you need to do in these situations is you actually need to just move forwards slowly. Don't sprint, just move forward slowly. Now, what actually happens is actually on the other side of the pitch. It's just that obviously in that graphic you couldn't see, but instead the play moves to the left, not to the right, but it is on this principle. So what you want to do in this situation, the reason why you don't want to sprint, you need to drag one of those midfielders that he has out of position. So by just moving forward very, very slowly, just moving forward using the left stick, but not sprinting. That is a very, very key point. Not sprinting, just moving forward with that left stick. Eventually, you're going to get closer and closer to his goal. So he's going to have to bring one of those players out. And you can see on the right-hand side, Vieira at the moment isn't in a great position for us to pass. The guy he could move across to cut out the passing lanes. There's another guy there, as you can see, linked to him. So what we need to do is we need to drag that first player out, that first DM that we've highlighted. And then that's going to allow Vieira to run into that space and make that pass a lot easier. And you can see that that is exactly what happens. It just happens on the left-hand side of the pitch, not on the right-hand side. We drag one of his players out, and then eventually we're able to pick him apart and eventually get the goal. And that is a prime example of sprinting in midfield and how to get around that problem. Now, the second key to obviously having good possession, high pass accuracy, and not giving the ball up too much is playing to the strengths of your formation, play style, and tactics. So play to the setup of your offensive build-up play. If you play slow build-up, don't sprint forward and force the ball upfield. Now, what this means is, for example, you can see that we are playing in slow build-up on this example. We're playing in slow build-up. Now, that does not mean that you have to play extremely slow and very passive, but it does not mean that you should be running forwards and sprinting forwards as fast as possible because you've decided to play your team in slow build-up. Now, if you was playing in fast build-up, that needs quick, fast gameplay. You know, the team is going to move forward quickly. If you're playing in slow build-up, but you're trying to move the ball forwards really fast, every pass you're just passing forwards, you're going to have no players at the top end of the pitch because your team is built to move up the pitch as a unit very, very slowly. Instead, if you're trying to play fast build-up on slow build-up, the ball's going to get up to your strikers, but the rest of your team now is not going to be there to support. So you're going to be outnumbered. You're going to give the ball away. And that's one of the reasons why I think a lot of people give the ball away is because they might choose to play slow build-up and then they play very, very fast and very, very aggressive. And they move forward very, very quickly, always looking to pass forwards. And then they end up giving up the ball. And you can see in a lot of these examples coming up, how we move, but we utilize obviously the strengths of our formation. We don't necessarily spam the ball forwards. We do move forwards. You can see there's plenty of examples where in certain scenarios it is more than okay to move the ball forwards at pace, but you have to also remember what you're playing and how you're playing it. Don't be spamming the ball forwards, don't be smashing through balls through if you're deciding to play on slow build up. Now, if you're playing fast build up, you're playing long ball, obviously that's your play style, but we've decided to play on slow build-up, which means our team has to build up slowly. And you can see by building up slowly how we're able to counter-attack still very, very effectively. You can see a really poor pass by my opponent there, back to goal. He had like 4 players to pass to, and he just smashed it straight at Rooney, and then was able to get the goal there and punish him. And again, Great example here. Move up very, very slowly. Move up the pitch. Let our team move forwards. Let the space develop. And then Patrick Vieira, what a finish that is from Vieira. Great little chip over the top there. Keeper has got absolutely no chance. And then again, straight from kickoff. This is a prime example. Obviously, this guy's 4-1 down. He's tilted. He's very, very aggressive. He's just trying to move forwards. And then it just allows us to obviously move forwards ourselves, you know, play to the strength of our team and play to the strength of our players, and obviously get more goals. And it just is something that you need to remember. It's one of the biggest things. And I think the most important thing to people having bad pass accuracy is people trying to force the ball forwards all the time. Even if there's no pass, you've got to just pass the ball sideways. You've got to wait for that space to open up. Don't force it where it's not there. And one of the last things is making sure you use the lofted ground pass. Now, this is the double tap A or double tap X on if you're on PlayStation. Making sure in certain scenarios, and it is very important to use this, especially in and around the box, especially in sort of the final 25 yards of your opponent's sort of final third. Making sure you use the lofted ground pass quite a lot because it lifts it over the top of the defender's foot. Obviously, in the final third, their defense is more compact, so they're more likely to make interceptions and there's more bodies. So to get around that, you need to make sure you're using that lofted ground pass and you're going to be getting over the top of your players. But one of the biggest keys, as I said before, to having high pass accuracy is not rushing. It doesn't mean play passive. It doesn't mean pass it around the defense. It just means that if there isn't an obvious high percentage pass forwards, don't force it into an area where there's no players. And like I said before, making sure that you play to your build-up play. If you're playing slow build-up, don't be playing forwards at 100 miles an hour because the rest of your team is going to get up the pitch very, very slowly. You're going to get the ball to your strikers. You're going to have no players to pass to and to work off. You're going to get outnumbered. You might have your 2 strikers up there, but he might have his 6 defenders back. You're going to get outnumbered. You're going to lose possession. So it just obviously then gives you the impression that there's something wrong with your team, with your players. And in fact, it's just the way you're playing. So making sure you're playing smart, making sure you're being clever. And it's one of the reasons why for me, I'm a decent FIFA player, but my strength is holding possession, is having good pass accuracy. Very rarely am I ever under sort of 93, 94% pass accuracy. And that's because I've learned my style of play. I've learned my craft. I've honed my craft and play to the strength of what I'm good at. And that's one of the things that you guys need to do. Play to the strength of your team, formation, your tactics, and making sure you do not rush and force passes where they do not need to go. But that is it for today's video, guys. So if you did find this useful, if you are going to take any of these things away today, hopefully they will improve you and make you better as a passing person and making sure that you're going to not give the ball away too much. So hopefully you guys did enjoy it. If you do want to see any more tutorials, do drop a thumbs up and subscribe as well if you are new to the channel. But that's all for today, guys. Have an awesome day. I'm out.